time for Live Now with Dr. Carmen Harra. The show offers profound wisdom, practical advice, daily exercises, and empowering predictions. And now, here's Dr. Carmen Harra.
The 7 pillars of a healthy life. Now, good health is the greatest gift we have, and without it, we can't enjoy life. Our bodies are incredibly intelligent and know how to fight disease and regain balance if we help them. This is difficult to do in a world that overwhelms our defenses with all things artificial. But the knowledge and the right action can prevent and reverse illnesses like diabetes, heart disease, autoimmune disorder, even cancer. So the show tonight will help you learn simple and natural principles that you can practice on a daily basis for your well-being. I'm Dr. Carmen Harra with my show Live Now. So excited to be on the show today with you. I know the world is in a crisis right now. It has been in a crisis in the last 2 years. And we've been all affected emotionally, mentally. We've been, in a way, collectively traumatized. And, you know, trauma is in the reactive side of the brain, the subconscious mind, and stays there. And if you go to a trauma, it will affect your state of mind and will affect your body at the end. Because whatever emotion you release, they produce a chemical that goes into the bloodstream and hurts the cells and causing a lot of damage to your health. Now, I decided to talk to you today about what are the 7 pillars of the healthy life and how can we maintain our health. But keep in mind that the advice I'm giving you and that I'm going to share with you is not actually intended to diagnose or not intended to replace your medical care. So that's why if you listen and you hear some interesting things that you should consider before anything, ask your physician before a new diet, before taking a new natural pill or any kind of medication. Because everyone knows that life, as I said, is best lived if it's in good health. But the first thing you need to do in order to protect yourself is knowledge. Be aware, knowledge, communication, patience. This is the wisdom of good health. And as I said, one of the secrets to good health is actually knowledge. Knowing what helps you and what's actually hurting you when it comes to your health. Because many of the things that you do, being told that are good for you, are actually not good for you. So if you want to benefit from great health, you'll have to do your own research and learn a lot about treatments, supplements, herbs, plants, different kind of food, and understand that actually nature cures almost every disease. So there is always in nature something naturally, like a natural remedy for every disease that you might have. It's incredible. I've learned a lot of wonderful things at the Cornell University. I had a professor, Dr. Lewinsky, that was even teaching me how to cook so I can prevent getting sick. The connection that exists between food and arteriosclerosis, between food and hypertension, between food and heart disease. So it is fascinating to pay attention to what we eat. But before anything, going deeper into the subject, I want you to understand how significant it is to get knowledge and also to communicate. Your body will always tell you something is wrong. For instance, if you just have a pain in your bone somewhere, that's a sign of an inflammatory process. And if there's an inflammation, that there is definitely a problem in the body coming from somewhere, and you need to detect the source of the problem. But the body is sending you a signal that there is pain. For instance, a lot of people complain they have acne on their face, and what can you do about that? That's a signal that the body is giving you that there is what? A hormonal imbalance. So you have to be careful not to confuse what your body needs with what your body wants. So if you're craving something sweet, You may want a chocolate bar. Probably your body, in fact, needs a fruit and not a chocolate bar. So be very careful, to ask yourself always, will this nourish me? Will this help me feel better or perform better function? So before you put anything into your body, because in order to have great health, you also have a lot of patience to check and see what are the natural cures, and how can a natural cure help you, because it's not going to happen in a day or two. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while for your body to adjust. Actually, this comes true even when you take a pill. Like if you go to the doctor and complain that you are depressed, you're going to be put on some kind of a serotonin receptors, but they will take 5-6 weeks to get into your system for you to see full results of the medication. But the same thing comes true about everything you eat and everything natural that you take. The body is adjusting. The body has so much intelligence to help you get better. But the right food, like I said, is so significant. And I'll go to a definition given by the Greek philosopher Hippocrates, who said, let food be thy medicine, and thy medicine be, and the medicine be thy food. So isn't that crazy to think that every living creature on planet Earth knows what to eat, except us, the humans? We're still debating whether meat is good for us or not. We're still debating whether milk is good for us or not. We're still debating, what is the basic food. So we still continue for hundreds of years to question what would be best. And we've been changing. If you look at the food pyramid, how this has been changing through years, is incredible. So we shift our understanding, our perception about what we should eat, how much we should eat, continuously changing. And a lot of people nowadays think that they should better become more vegan, more vegetarian, let go of meat, because it's very acidic, and some might have even carcinogen in it. So people change their opinion about food. Now, my opinion is there is a guide to good nutrition. You can enjoy anything from time to time, but in moderation. You can eat, in my advice is, a lot of raw, unprocessed, organic food as much as possible, staying away, from foods that have a label that you cannot even pronounce. So be careful with that. You look at a food and there's a label that you cannot even read, then stay away from something like that. And it's simplified. Make things simple. Put on a plate, things that they combine, they work together. A minimal ingredient in order to cook. The quality is significant, not the quantity, is something that we always forgetting. So we eat till we feel like you cannot even breathe. But also toxicity. You heard all these things a million times, but I feel like repeating them because they're so significant to be put in a certain order. So from enjoying anything to eating everything that's organic and raw, to simplifying things when it comes to the way you cook, and detoxifying, because your body needs, your digestive system needs a break to recharge. Exactly. A good cleanse once a month will really help your digestive system. Also give up on those fad diets, because you don't want to die, you want to live. Diets don't actually really work. I'm not necessarily going against any of this Atkin, Polo, Zone, Nutrisystem, and so on and so forth, because you probably tried all of them. And you've seen that all of them might do something temporary, but at the end of the day, you go back to what? To the pattern of behavior, the way you used to eat, the way you eat, what you like, and what you think is good for you, because you've been raised in a certain way. And I relate to this because I've been raised in Europe. So we used to eat a lot of meat, a lot of pork, a lot of, so processed food, a lot of processed food. it took me years to realize why I got so fat at some point and why I had high cholesterol. So I realized, and I did my research, and I went to school, and I learned, and I went to Cornell to study nutrition. And in this way, I acknowledge, that the way I used to eat was actually completely wrong. So, but enjoy your food. Savor it, chew it. Chewing your food is so beneficial for the digestive system. But many times we don't have time to chew our food because we're in fast food. Everything is fast. We live in a world that everything is fast forward. So, but honor your body. If you want to live healthy and celebrate every day of your life, these are essential things that you need to do. Pay attention to your emotion. We eat emotionally. We used to say that people who feel too much, they get overweight because your emotions, they get on your way. And the last one, and then I'm going to take Pauline because she's waiting to speak with me. And this is a calling show, so you guys can call all the time. And I'm going to give you the number to call in is 951-922-3532. Call in with whatever questions you might have. I know we're living a difficult period in the world. If you want to find out what's going on, let's talk about it. 951-922-3532. And my wonderful producer, Justin, will take your calls and will connect you with me. So, Pauline, hold on. I just want to let people know how significant it is to know that food actually can cure any illness possible, any disease. But don't consume food that has suffering. Consume food that is free from suffering. And think twice, if somebody died for you to eat that food, you put something bad into a body that is alive. So think that way. I'm not saying don't eat meat anymore. I'm not saying, I know it's very hard. You used to eat meat. It has protein. But think about, and especially processed meat, think about what it does to your body. If you really want to make sure you don't have hypertension and you don't have high cholesterol, then stay away for certain, products and certain foods that will cause, a lot of illnesses. And so make sure you know what you're doing. And as I said, food can cure any diseases. I've seen from President Clinton, who had a lot of stents put in his heart, he completely changed his diet. He went vegan, and he's alive, and he's okay thanks to the food. And I know there was an intervention, and sometimes we need the medicine to help us, but continuing to eat the right food is extremely beneficial, like I said. One thing, and then I'm taking Pauline. I recommend something. I'm not making publicity. It's something that I'm using for years that helped me improve my vision. My hair grew longer. My skin is better. Something that is called Carbon 60. It took the got the Nobel Prize 30 years ago. C60 is a non-molecule that penetrates at the level of the cells and helps the telomeres, the extremity of the cells, not to deteriorate. Because what it does is soaks up the free radicals, destroys the cells. The free radicals destroys the cell. So this protects the cell from deteriorating. And what does it mean? We live longer life. It is said that it almost doubles our lifespan, because I take this C60 for a while, and I will show it to you so that if anybody's on camera, sees me on camera, this is the way it looks. You see on it SES. Don't buy this one from an unknown source. This is the true source, the real company who makes it for many years, and this is the real product. But then again, I'm not making publicity, but I'm taking this. I'm letting you guys know how significant it is to take something like this for your well-being. And I'm going to go to Pauline. Hi, Pauline, my love. How are you, my dear?
Hi from New York. It's sort of, that's right. Our mayor is also a vegan. It's interesting. But not all vegans are they healthy. Some of them, because of their stress or because of their thought patterns, they're negative. Right. So really, nobody who doesn't give gratitude, if you give gratitude, even if you're eating meat, if your blood, you're giving gratitude to the animal that sacrifices life, I believe that it changes the water molecules in your body, which you know about the crystals, what Noto said. So if you look at that, if you have gratitude and bless and thank everything, and forgive, and your life is anything you eat won't bother you. You won't even gain weight probably if you eat cake. Not that you should overdo it, but it's like. And I thank you for reminding me about the carbon 60. Can you put up the interview you did with that man, because that was a very good one. I remember asking him questions that I still, because I do know that things have shifted and we are becoming crystalline. So I'm still worried that not worried, but I guess I still am carbon based, but. I'm just like saying, well, maybe now things have shifted on this planet enough that I don't need to do a carbon thing, but I'll still try it. I just want to see what it does for me, because you're still on it.
I believe that this carbon 60 is a miracle, is one of the big discoveries in the medical field.
I was very impressed with his interview with you.
The biggest antioxidant. So carbon 60 is actually an antioxidant that helps, with free radicals and helps the molecule, the telomeres, the extremities of the cell not to deteriorate.
That interview you did with him was really good. Please repost that, because I think that would help us understand it.
Invite him to the show very soon, so that he can have an opportunity.
That's right. He's never been on this one. Yes.
We want to go more in depth about this, and I agree with you with the gratitude, and I want to specify something. Whenever you're grateful, you're actually in a moment of healing yourself, whatever that might be. Being grateful, being in a state of acceptance, in a state of gratitude, you actually heal your body from any kind of diseases. It's such a positive state of mind, and the mind is everything. The mind controls.
And shift your thinking that you're a victim, please, everybody. You're not a victim. Either you might not remember that you created this role with whoever you dealt with. You might not remember it, but if you actually shift that thought thinking, if you think you're a victim, then you're disempowered. At least, even if you don't believe that you might have contracted with somebody to do this to you.
I agree.
Forgive them so that you can move on, and then if they have a karma coming to them, they will get it, because that has nothing to do with you. Not that you should wish it on them. You really, truly need to forgive them, but you forgive yourself because you made the mistake, or you think you made the mistake of trusting people, but you didn't make a mistake. You're supposed to trust people, and people do what they do, and then you react. You have to react in a positive way for yourself. Otherwise, you're going to be living with this. They're victimizing you again. If you really believe you're a victim, you're getting victimized again if you don't let it go. Right, Carmen?
You should have your own radio show, my love.
Someday, not now. I'm not ready. I'm still healing. I'm still working on me, and I love that. I'm loving myself.
I agree. Forgiveness, means forgive. It's a Greek word that means to detach. You're detaching from the negativity. You cut the cord with the person, or somebody who is harmful. And the same thing is you forgive yourself sometimes for harming you by not knowing. That's why.
By not putting up boundaries, right? Once somebody does it to you, you don't allow them to do it again. I mean, it's this way. Even if you did agree to this, you don't want to have the lesson over and over and over and over, because you're like just in a pattern. And I have not read. I think I missed your show on karma.
I wanted to hear Paulina. Write down who we need to forgive, and expressing gratitude a number of times a day for everything, for being alive, for every second of our existence. You should say thank you, God, for another day.
Even our parents, right? Even if they did us wrong, we didn't have the best parents. We chose these parents, supposedly. And I even had to learn to forgive and forgive and forgive. And remember, I made mistakes, too, as a parent. And so hopefully my son will forgive me, because I've forgiven my mother, like they say, forgive those, whatever. I remember the prayer that you have to, how you want to be forgiven, right?
Right.
All right, let me let you go. I just wanted to chime in. I didn't even know what I was going to say. I just wanted to call in and make that comment. Thank you. I want to hear a little bit more about the karma.
Thank you so much for calling in. Again, everybody, I'm Carmen Harra on KMET, ABC Radio, and I'm going to take a short break. And for any of you who want to call in, 951-922-3532, feel free to call in and you can discuss with me everything that's significant for you to talk about. So I'll be back in a second. I'm Carmen Harra, back on the radio with you today. Is such a beautiful day here in Miami, Florida, where I am, and so excited to talk to you about what I call the 7 pillars of a healthy life. What are the 7 pillars of a healthy life? We probably don't even think about. We don't have time. We're constantly on the run. We have so many things to do, so we don't pay attention. We ignore, and one day we wake up having a serious illness or a serious problem when we question, how did this happen? Well, it did happen slowly in time because we are not aware. So awareness is very significant. But I think that the number one pillars of health is be proactive. Don't be proactive. Don't take a back seat when it comes to your health, which what a lot of us do. We have here and there a pain or something, we ignore it and said it's going to go away. No. The number one rule of being healthy is when something is wrong, get medical help right away. Do your research. Get to the bottom of the problem because it's so significant. Don't let things lingering on their own. I will not forget for the rest of my life what happened to my husband. I kept on telling him, let's see a doctor, you're coughing, there's something going on, and he refused till the day when he was stage 4 lung cancer. So we cannot do this to ourselves, and it's because it's going to get too late. So put your health first. Your health is the most important. Do regular checkups, screening, blood work, routine. Never allow your body to get for too long out of balance. I know you've heard these things, but I keep on, repeating them because I know how significant they are. Another rule of your health is know your genetic code, because it's significant to know your history, because your future, believe it or not, lies within your genes. Understanding your genetic is critical in preventing diseases. So anticipating certain illnesses that are in your family can literally save your life. Because diseases, they exist, you born. That's why I say we have a gene, a genetic. So that predisposition for cancer exists there. So that's why it's so significant to check if there is any abnormality, so that it's caught in time, you're going to be fine. If you predispose with something, that illness, you can stop before the illness will actually occur. Another pillar of health is finding balance. Everything is about balance. Refrain from what? From addiction. Remember that addiction is something that without realizing we actually create on a daily basis. And there are a lot of things that we can be addicted to. You can be addicted to coffee. You can be addicted to the 4 killers. And which are the 4 white killers? I call them in one of my book, The Trinity of Health. I talked about the 4 white killers, which are white flowers, white salt. So the white, remember that we are so tempted to eat everything that's white. The white sugar. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but actually sugar is the worst addiction in the brain, followed by nicotine, and then followed by cocaine. So it's not cocaine, the number one addiction. It is sugar, the number one addiction. That's why when you're down, you take something sweet. You eat a piece of cake, and immediately you're excited because your serotonin in the brain will go up, and you're going to feel amazing. But an hour later, you feel more depressed than before, because the serotonin drops right away. So sugar, the number one is there. So sugar, flour, salt, and fat, the white. These 4 whites are the 4 killers of the body. If you pay attention, and they actually, a lot of diseases come from, ingesting in the body these 4 killers. Eat a lot of salt, you guaranteed to have high blood pressure. You eat a lot of white flour, you guaranteed to become overweight and develop celiac disease and other, all kinds of other problems, that come from excessive carbohydrates, diabetes, and so on and so forth. So you see all of this, eat a lot of fat, your cholesterol is going to go to the roof. You're going to have problems with your arteries. And so make sure the simple things that you heard a million times, you follow this rule. The key is not to consume a few food in excess, but to integrate a variety of healthy food in moderation. And you know what? One of the most amazing thing that I always realize that our ancestors used to do, our grandparents, grandparents, they live in a mother nature. So returning to mother nature, live in a colorful world, and eat something that is that rainbow of colors. Work with food that have colors, eat food that have a lot of colors. I often ask, how do you want to have your life if you eat that? So make sure you eat something that is colorful. And don't eat, as I said, a lot of meat, because there's a lot of suffering that gets into it. But that, and again, if you cannot get rid of the meat, at least, like Pauline, she's right, forgive and express gratitude. That may be a way to make peace with that. Another element very significant for your health is live an alkaline lifestyle. I always recommend for your well-being to eat and drink everything that's alkaline. Alkaline water. I drink a lot of alkaline water that has 9 point. I even have it by my by my computer, because it's so significant, for the water to be. The body's 80-90% water. If it's alkaline, there's no way that cancer will survive in an alkaline environment. That's why one of the natural treatment for cancer is intravenous with vitamin C, because it raises the level of the alkaline pH in the body. So consequently, you will be able to fight and beat cancer. The same things come true with autoimmune disorders and any other diseases. But excessive acidity leads to osteoporosis, to fracture, to kidney stone formation, come from excessive acidity, muscle loss, sarcopenia, heart disease, thyroid problem, cancer, have a lot to do with the food that we eat that is too acidic. So do your homework, and you will actually realize that eating a lot of fruits, vegetable, a lot of legume, a lot of nuts, they very alkaline. So try to consume foods that are alkaline. And also move your body. I am going to the gym constantly because I know how significant it is. If you exercise, your blood pressure goes to normal. If you move at least 30 minutes your body, this is so beneficial for your heart. These are things that I question how much do you do them. And if you are doing them, let me know. Call me and let's talk about it. And the last pillar of healthy life is create what is called good karma. Sustain and create the good karma, because everything you do will return into the memory of your cell. So karma means the totality of your thoughts, your action, your intention. And your cell contains that karmic memory, that imprints that manifest in the function of your bodies. I've seen many cases of people getting very, very ill after creating negative karma, their wrongdoing, or of being affected by other people who abuse them or hurt them in a way emotionally, and so on and so on. So action, thoughts resonate at the cellular level. So creating good karma means for yourself, means loving yourself, appreciating yourself, never letting yourself down, building your self-esteem, doing what you love, working with your talents, being in touch with yourself, cutting toxic people out of your life. That means creating good karma. The world today is undergoing a shift of karmic pattern for the last 2,000 years. Everything you see right now is karmic. Even the war in the world is karmic. it originated thousands of years ago. It kept on going. The First World War, the Second World War, the Third War, everything is related to Europe, to that part of the world, to the same people that were involved in the war before, they involved back in the war, because it's a pattern that has an imprint in that part of the world. Believe it or not, the earth has karma. I mean, it's not only we are part of this earth, part of this world, and part of, we live on Mother Earth, but Mother Earth has its own karma that has been generated and created. This war that we're seeing is something karmic. It's something karmic, and it's happening in this years of transitioning to another level of evolution for the human race. And we just pray and hope that we will be able to get into the next 11 years, in a safe way, and see the world in a different way, and change the perception of the life we are living. So if I have any callers, I'm here for you guys. And the number to call in is actually 951-922-3532. You can call me at this number. You can ask me questions, whatever kind of questions about your own life, about your health, about your relationships. I'm here to answer, give you my advice, my expertise, my insight into your problems, whatever they might be. I want to let you know that yesterday actually, I was on Fox television in the morning, and I did a show that related to actually the toxic relationship that existed between Kardashian and Kanye West. So I made a comment, and I said there are 6 signs of a toxic relationship. And my segment on Fox was actually took by yahoo.com, and it made headlines all over the news, in the internet. And if you put my name, you're going to see me everywhere. Everybody took that segment. So I was really surprised and very grateful. And in case you want to know what are the 7 sides of a toxic relationship, I can tell you a little bit of that, because that has a lot to do with your health. Because if you live in a toxic relationship, what does it do to you? It generates so much anxiety. Toxicity means something that is poisonous, something that is going to make you sick, something that is going to make you feel constantly afraid, anxious. All those negative emotions will be generated by the toxicity of a relationship. And what are the signs? Probably you're going to ask me, well, I want to find out the signs. And that's exactly what I'm going to tell you right now. There are 7 major signs of a toxicity in a relationship. And I'm going to start by saying jealousy is the first sign, especially if jealousy turns into something that becomes verbal abuse, even any form of violence. So jealousy is the first sign of toxicity in a relationship. And then possessiveness, which means that your partner is trying to refrain you from doing the things you want to do by conditioning and controlling your action, by saying things like, you're not going to get this money unless you do this. So you become dominated in a relationship. That's toxicity. Your husband's possessiveness is not allowing you to live the way you want in a relationship. That's the first sign. The second sign is lying. A lot of people take this toxic relation like the new norm, and they think it's okay. It's okay to be lied, because there are a lot of little white lies, and everybody lies a little bit here and there. But let me tell you, when a lie becomes a pattern of behavior, that's a pathological disorder. So if you see somebody constantly lying to you, if your partner lies to you morning, night, and constantly lying to you about all kinds of things, and this becomes his way of expressing himself, then it's time to think, to reconsider the relationship, and it's time to walk away. Actually, I'm giving you the signs of toxicity in a relationship for you to consider whether you should or should not stay in a relationship. Another sign is cheating. Cheating. People cheat on people, pretending that it happened only once, it will not happen again. Well, guess what? We're not changing people. That's the first thing. The second of all, somebody who already did it, talking about karma, it keeps on repeating. So you will be surprised, but somebody who cheat once will cheat again, unfortunately. So then it's time for you to consider your worth and ask yourself, don't I deserve better? Then if you agree that you deserve better, it's time to walk away from that relationship. Well, another sign of toxicity is addiction. Living with somebody who's addicted to drugs, to alcohol, to God knows what, it might even turn you into a person you don't want to become. So be careful. You don't want to be in a relationship where there is that kind of a toxicity like addiction. So stay away from those kind of a relationship. And then withholding. I totally believe that that is a very dangerous, toxic behavior when your partner is not allowing you, you know what I mean, to do the things you're supposed to do, and is, suspicious all the time, and is putting you, boundaries. And that is also very common happening lately. And people don't understand that that's actually a sign of toxicity. Another sign of toxicity is indifference. That's a very silent toxicity, when people will not consider anything wrong, but after 1, 2, or 3 years, when their partner seems to treat you like a piece of furniture, then it's also time to reconsider that relationship, and probably time to move on and find a better partner. So these are the signs of a toxic relationship that I wanted to give to you. And I'm going to take a short break. Again, I invite you to call me in 951-922-3532. I'm Carmen Harra. I'll be back in a minute. And I'm back on my show, Live Now, on KMET 1.90 AM. I'm Dr. Carmen Harra. So excited to talk to you about the 7 pillars of healthy life. And if you enjoy my, my story and everything I did on Fox yesterday with the 6 signs of toxic relationship, you can put it online, and you're going to be able to see the show on Fox and get all those tips if you feel like you need to pay more attention to what's going on inside your relationship. But anyhow, talking about the 7 pillars of healthy life, that to me is such a fascinating topic. I wrote a book on health, and I intend to write another one. So I did an extensive work on the 13 most common diseases and how to treat them naturally. I'm a firm believer that everything can be treated in a natural way if it's caught in time. I'm going to start with anxiety, depression. I know I can talk for hours about this, but I'm going to go briefly to those most common diseases. And I know I won't probably have time to go deeper, but just to name some of them and to give you a hint of what needs to be done. The mental disorders. We live in a world, the world of Prozac, the world that, that is so anxious, it's so much anxiety, so much trauma in the world. We're all affected by what's happening in the world right now. With all this COVID, there's this acute manifestation of anxiety that turns into panic disorders. When suddenly adrenaline and norepinephrine in the brain spikes. And what can you do about that? It makes you feel like you're going to die. It makes you feel you have tachycardia, or heart gets out of your chest. If you identify this kind of emotions and feelings and experience something like this, I will tell you that's one of the most common diseases that is called anxiety and depression, that goes hand in hand. Now, chronic anxiety can be generalized anxiety, and it doesn't go away so easily. So there are things that we can take, natural stuff that we can take. So natural treatment for this type of mental disorders that regulate actually the brain function and can, to my opinion, even cure completely anxiety and depression, are taking GABA, probably you heard about it, it's a neurotransmitter, or taking Bacopa. Bacopa, I'll show you just the bottle for a second. Very, very good for the brain. Lion mane, which is actually something natural, perfect amino, melatonin, Travacor is actually, out of all of this, probably the best. Travacor is more complex, so it includes all of this natural neurotransmitters from taurine to GABA. And it's very well done by neuroscience, so it's something that can actually help you with your depression. So you don't have to go and take any of those Xanax, a family of Xanax, or any other medication. So that's just a suggestion. I'm going to the second most common disease, which is cancer. It begins with one cell, as you know, mutating, and the immune system cannot stop the mutation. That's all part of a cell DNA becoming damaged. And at that moment, a cell become abnormal, and there you have it. You have cancer. Now, cancer can be caused by external or internal factors. Cancer can be caused by asbestos, by all kinds of, sometimes even trauma and negative thoughts can lead to a mutation of a cell. It can be a result of an inflammatory process. So that's why anti-inflammatories are always recommended. But there are 4 major types of cancer: carcinomas, sarcomas, lymphomas, and leukemia. Carcinomas, there are skin cancer, organ, glandular, membrane. Sarcomas, there are bone, muscle, and cognitive tissues. Leukemia, there is a blood cancer. Lymphomas, there are cancer of the lymphatic system. So I'm telling you this in order to know how significant it is for you to understand the danger of the world we are living in, of getting sick, and how to prevent that. And the natural treatment, are exactly what I said: all this colon cleansing, all the detox, all the raw vegan diet, antioxidant, vitamin D, selenium, curcumin, all the sometimes immunotherapy, the grapeseed extract, the turmeric, the CoQ10, magnesium, everything that boosts the immune system. Don't forget, as I said before, vitamin D3, zinc, everything that makes your army, the immune system, to protect your body. Eliminate, if you can, if you have cancer, eliminate the sugar, because sugar is cancer's best friend, and refined carbohydrates, and also eliminate animal products, because definitely those go hand in hand with cancer. Take that Tibetan cure. I'm going to tell you one day much more about it. I learned from Dalai Lama that treatment, that amazing natural way of healing the body. I don't have enough time to go in detail, but I know it does consist of garlic, lemon, honey, and the baking soda. So these are the 4 ingredients to create that Tibetan cure. These ingredients create the most a similar effect of cytostatic. So they work exactly like the treatment for cancer, the traditional treatment for cancer, except it's all natural. And also, as I said, vitamin C intravenous is extremely efficient for treating cancer in a natural. Cardiovascular disease, heart disease, high blood pressure, tachycardia, fibrillation, angina pectoris, murmur of the heart, arrhythmia, stroke, heart attack, aneurysm, cardiac arrest. So these are diseases you heard. We don't really pay attention, but please check your heart. Check your heart in the morning constantly. Make sure you buy one of those watches that can measure your blood pressure and your heart, because it's so good to have even a blood pressure monitor in your home from time to time, to make sure that your vital signs are okay. Natural treatment, sometime I don't know if you have a hawthorn. Hawthorn lowers your blood pressure. It's a natural plant. Then, of course, what will actually help is grapeseed juice, pomegranate juice. These are things that really, really help if you use them on a daily basis. Vegetables, because they help your heart a lot. Eliminate the salt. If you have blood pressure, please stay away from MSG, from diet soda, because all these artificial sweeteners, because they have a lot of problem. They create a lot of problem in your body. Take B3, which is called niacin, and red yeast rice extract to lower your cholesterol. This is a natural treatment for cholesterol. And here, I can tell you that the heart, even if you have a condition, the heart can return to normal. So make sure from time to time you get a sonogram of your heart, or EKG. These are things you need to do. Then autoimmune disorders. I don't know if you guys know, there are 100 autoimmune disorders in the world right now. You can check if you have an autoimmune disorder by doing a blood work called C-reactive protein, and you find out the level of your antibodies. So this is the way you know whether you do have an autoimmune. And one immune can link to another autoimmune. So if you have, for instance, Hashimoto or type 1 diabetes, or a digestive autoimmune, or celiac disease that is autoimmune, there's an infinite list. Even asthma is considered an autoimmune. There's infinite list. Use natural anti-inflammatories like bromelain. Bromelain is fantastic. Turmeric, curcumin, Hilan Sud, omega-3 fatty acids. Use a lot of those, and zinc, because this is the only way you prevent an inflammation of the body. Diabetes, a chronic condition, in which the way the body cannot process glucose the way it should be. But the natural treatment for diabetes that is absolutely amazing is called something called glucochill. Ceylon cinnamon, berberine, things that lower naturally the sugar. And there's also a bracelet that you can wear that has the property, a natural stone that has the property to lower the sugar in your body. Then there's respiratory diseases. And with the COVID, we saw that people had a lot of problem with breathing. And here, you also can do a lot of things to help your lungs. Then there is also intestinal diseases, liver diseases, neurological diseases. I can go on and on and on. I know there's a lot to talk about this subject, but I am Carmen Harra, live and with my show Live Now on KMT Radio, and I'll be with you next week on Friday, the same time, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, and I'm so excited to be with you every Friday, and thank you so much for listening. Much love and gratitude.
You have been listening to Live Now with Dr. Carmen Harra, heard every Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time. And don't forget to check out the show's programmer podcast